Hi, hello again. Welcome to a new video. In this video, we are going to talk about counting and undercounting the visits when talking about e-commerce. The previously developed model assumes that all hits are counted. However, these hits are never detected by a web server because pages can be read from a cache memory rather than the server. So a cache is temporary memory designed to speed up access to a data source. So in the case of the web pages, previously read-write may be stored on the disk. So the use of a cache speeds up retrieval, so reduce network traffic and decreases the load of the server. As a consequence, however, data collected by a web server undercount hits. The extent of undercounting depends on the form of gating. So Netscape is one of the most popular browsers, so offers 3 levels of counting, one per session, always, and never. So in terms of undercounting, the worst situation is never, which implies that if the pages is in cache, the browser will not retrieve a new version from the server. So this also means the customer could be viewing a page that could be months out of date. So always means the browser always checks to ensure that the latest version is about to be displayed. A hit will not be recorded if the page in the cache is the current version. So the default for Netscape once per session results in undercounting, but that means the customer is reading current information, unless that page changes during the session. So the existence of a proxy server can further exacerbate undercounting. So a proxy service is essentially a cache memory for a group of users, for example, a department, an organization, or even a country, and it requests from a browser to a web server are first route to a proxy server, which keeps a copy of pages it has retrieved and redistributes to the browsers attached to it. So when any browser served by the proxy issues a request for a page, the proxy server will return the page if it's already in its memory rather than retrieve the page from the original server. For instance, a company could operate a proxy server to improve response time for a company personnel. Although dozens of people within the organization might reference a particular web page, the originating server may score 1 hit per day for the company because of the interviewing proxy server. So to further complicate matters, there can be layers of proxy servers, and one page retrieved from the original web server may end up being seen by thousands of people within a nation. Clearly, the proliferation of proxy servers, which is likely to happen as the web extends, will result in server undercounting. So the use of the cache memory of proxy servers will result in undercounting of hits and active visitors. So consequently, the lookability or attractability index will be underestimated since the number of people is more difficult to find the conjecture that the effect of the contact has the efficiency index. So one possibility is that the index is underestimated because active visitors browse the site more frequently than those who just hit, and as a result are more likely to read the page from cache memory. So clearly, empirical research is required to estimate correction factors, but unfortunately, these correction factors are likely to differ by page and change over time as the redistribution of proxy servers changes. So therefore, the initial perception that the web enables the ready calculation of efficiency measures needs to be tempered by the recognition that cache memory can distort the situation. So the counting problem caused by caching is not unlike other counting problems encountered by advertisers. So viewerships, listenership, and readerships of conventional media are cases in point. So the issue of readerships, for example, are perplexed advertising researchers and publishers for many years. So how does one measure readership? So is it merely circulation? Circulation probably undercounts in one way because they may be more than one reader, or overcounts in another. So we just believe that creating a new variation of the same old counting problem, and creative managers will need to discover innovative ways to solve it. So, in conclusion, a fundamental problem in researching the effectiveness of marketing mix variables, such as pricing strategy or advertising, is that of isolating them from others. So, this is compounded further when the effects of a variable can be indirect or have a prolonged lag effect. Casing points at advertising's ability to create awareness, which might or might not lead on to an immediate sale, and its lag effects. So consumer remembers slogan long after campaigns have ended, and the effects of this on sales continue to intrigue researchers. So about that, advertisers and marketers sustain their efforts in searching for ways in which returns to marketing investment generally and communication capital in particular can be enhanced. So this highlights the importance of establishing specific communication objectives for websites and for identifying measurable means of determining the success of web ventures. There is perhaps some solace to be gained from realizing that the web is a lot more measurable than many other marketing communication efforts, with feedback being relatively quick, if not intermediate. So the web is a new medium which is characterized by ease of entry, relatively low setup costs, globalness, time independence, and interactivity. As such, it represents a remarkable new opportunity for advertisers and marketers to communicate with new and existing markets in a very integrated way. So many advertisers will use it to achieve either underneath of success. So, but for others, it will be an opportunity to lost and dump weight. So we hope that the process model for assessing website efficiency will achieve more of the former condition. From an academic perspective, the model can be used to develop research proposition concerning the maximization of website efficiency and using data from real websites to test these proportions. So for the practitioner, the model provides a sequence of productivity measures which can be calibrated with relative ease. So the challenges facing both parties, however, is to maximize the creativity that will justify advertising and marketing investment in a web presence. So now we're going to talk about the distribution. So in the internet and the web will radically change distribution. So the new medium undermines key assumption upon which traditional distribution philosophy is based, and in practice renders many conventional channels are intermediately obsolete. So in simple markets for old producers of goods of service deal directly with the consumer of those offerings. In some other business-to-business markets, suppliers also interact on a face-to-face basis with their customers. However, in most contemporary markets, mass production and mass consumption have caused intermediaries to enter the junction between buyer and seller. So these intermediaries have either taken title to the goods or services in their flow from producer to customer, or have in some way facilitated this by their specialization in one or more of the functions that have to occur for such moment to occur. So these flows of title and function and the intermediaries who have facilitated them have generally come to be known as distribution channels. So for a majority of marketing decision makers, dealing with the channel for the product of services ranks as one of the key marketing quadrants phases. So in many cases, despite what the textbook have suggested, there's frequently no real decision as to who should constitute the channel. Rather, it is a question of how is best deal with the incumbent channel. So marketing channel decisions are also critical because they intimately affect to all other marketing and overall strategy decision. So we are going to talk about it more extensively in our next video. So hope you have enjoyed this one and see you in the next.